At Akwi Montessori School, we have a Montessori nursery. The Montessori nursery usually takes children between 3 and 6 years of age, practicing Montessori education with a mixed age group in the prepared environment. At our school, we have 3 groups: circle, triangle, and square. When we say circle, we are referring to those children at entry level, nursery 1 and nursery 2 of the traditional system. The triangle group will equate to class 1 in the traditional Cameroonian primary schools. The square group, on the other hand, equates to class 2 of the traditional system. By way of ages, nursery 1 can take a child at 3 years, and if the child spends a year there, they turn 4 before entering nursery 2, where they are 4 years upon entry and 5 years upon exit. The child exiting the circle group may then be 5. Spending a year there will make the child 6 to enter the square group at 6 and exiting at 7. In a Montessori learning environment, children will progress between the circle, triangle, and square group according to their individual abilities. A child may spend less than a year in a certain environment because of the speed with which they learn and the maturity with which they grow. So, in conclusion, the Montessori nursery at Akwi Montessori School is equivalent to the nursery stage and level 1 of the Cameroonian nursery and primary schools. For toddlers who wish to join the Montessori learning environment, they come in and spend time in the toddlers group, and a toddler has to be 2.5 years of age upon entry. They will then spend the equivalent of about 6 months in that environment before joining their peers in the circle group of the Montessori 3 to 6 learning environment. For children joining the Montessori learning environment 3 to 6, they can enter any of the groups according to their abilities. These groups refer to the cognitive development of certain children. It isn't a fixed classroom like the traditional schools, because normally in a Montessori environment, we believe in mixed age learning. However, because children have to progress through school, we bring those of similar abilities together, and that is what makes the groups as defined. At elementary school, we have lower elementary consisting of 3 levels: level 1, level 2, and level 3. Now, for a child who enters lower elementary level 1 from the nursery, they are expected to spend time working on the class 3 and class 4 syllabus of the traditional system. If they are able to complete that in 1 year, they move on to level 2, where the class 4 and class 5 syllabus will be worked on. And then they move on to level 3, completing the work for class 5 and class 6, obviously based on their ability. At the end of that year in level 3, some will offer the government common entrance examinations into secondary schools. We have an alternative route for children who may not be able to go through such a crashed program. So they spend the first year in level 1 working on class 3 work, and then they move on to class 4 work. That could take them a year each. Then they move to class 5 work, and then finally to class 6 work, and at the end of that year, they will also take the government common entrance into secondary schools. This gives the flexibility, depending on the child's ability and maturity, that they either spend 3 years in lower elementary or 4 years, as the case may be. The upper elementary section at Akwi Montessori School takes children who are between 9 and 12. In this section, we study, in addition to the primary subjects, physics, chemistry, and biology. Students entering Level 1 must have completed the primary school curriculum and will study the equivalent curriculum of Form 1 of the traditional system. Those who move on to Level 2 will continue to study subjects in the Cameroonian curriculum in Form 2. We apply methods that are Montessori driven, more practical. We do oral assessments and practical assessments on top of the written assessments that you'll find in all traditional schools. When children complete the curriculum for the 9 to 12 section, they may either move on to Form 2 or Form 3 in a traditional secondary school. For 2024-2025, we do not have the critical mass of enrollment of students in Level 1 or Level 2 of upper elementary 9 to 12. If we get the critical numbers, which are a minimum of 3 students per level, we will consider opening up the section.